Hello and welcome to another Paumiko dog training Q&A. I'm not going to do the whole ad thing because lots of people hate it. We're just going to rip straight into it. Welcome to our new members of the Paumiko Inner Circle and the Paumiko Dog Guide. Big shout out to, where was that dog? Where's that photo gone? That pup, it's up the top. Big shout out to Patrick. He says, "Hi everyone, and thanks Paul for getting me started the training of our pup Bear. And Bear is a long-tailed stumpy kettle dog. Is that even a breed? I need to Google this. I need more information here. I've never heard of it, but if you could see this photo, it's in Paumiko Inner Circle, sort of a members only page. Oh my God, look at the other pup." And Gwen said, "I think you got a seal pup, not a dog." It's just, yeah, let's Google.
Australian stumpy tail cattle dog. The stumpy tail.
Long-tailed stumpy kettle dog. Come on, you're making stuff up. Long-tailed stumpy kettle dog. I wonder if that's not the breed. He's just.
Where you get stumpy tail, so maybe it's a long-tailed cattle dog that just happens to be stumpy.
Yeah, I think that it's more descriptive than the. He's a long-tailed kettle dog, but he's just a real stumpy one.
Pretty stumpy.
He is stumpy. He is just. Yeah, he looks like a seal crossed with the dog. Like cutest freaking thing ever. Just unbelievable. Okay, so it is. Stumpy tail kettle dog. No, I've got it.
It was stumpy tail. This is long tail.
I wonder if it's a long-tailed, because I've got about the Australian stumpy tail kettle dog. I've got a stumpy tail kettle dog here.
Yeah, so this is a long tail version of the stumpy tail, maybe.
Man, there's a lot going on here.
Stumps.
This is a lot. Australian stumpy tail kettle dog. And he's a long-tailed stumpy kettle dog. Anyhow, we're just looking at a really cute photo of a really cute pup. Let's get into some questions. We have 3. Tamati. Will letting the dogs play together have a negative effect on training as they are starting to ignore and get excited / hyperactive? Permanently keep them separated until they grow some ears. I don't know if you have to permanently keep them separated, and it's really good to let dogs have some sort of socialization with each other, but it comes back down to that sort of rules and boundaries and limitations thing, and just controlling the situation with a lead or a long line. Will letting the dogs play together have a negative effect on training? It will do if the play is really intense and full on. And you're saying, will it have a negative effect on training as they're starting to ignore and get excited, hyperactive? So I'm guessing the dogs are playing together, getting real full on. You're almost trying to interject and say, call them or whatever, tone it down, stop it, and they're not listening. If you're getting into a situation like that, I would definitely cut it back, and I would try and bring in more structure to it. So put the pup on a lead, the older dog on a lead, and try to get them to spend time together with the limitation of the lead, so they're learning to just not get so full on. You don't want your pup or dog in a situation where they're just, everything's getting full on, excited, hyperactive, too much intensity, and they're just not listening. And dogs are like kids. They'll get too excited and play gets too full on, and sometimes you got to step in and go, let's just tone it down a bit here. And you do, and it's quite a common one too in a lot of sort of modern dog training and puppy classes and that, where they say socialization is so important, let them go for it. And quite often with people that are looking at it all from one angle, or may not even know as much as maybe they should know in that situation where they're helping people to train and socialize dogs, people can promote this really full-on playing and interaction sort of under the idea of socialization, and people confuse a well-socialized dog with a well-socialized dog that wants to run and jump and do all this crazy stuff with other dogs. A well-socialized dog is actually a dog that can go into a situation with other dogs and just chill, and say hi. It's not aggressive. It's not overexcited. It's not timid. It's just there, That's a well-socialized dog. So I'd really keep all that in mind and use all of those tools of a lead and control and training and all that to try to introduce as much of that as you can. Let us know how you're getting on with that too. Sandy, hi Paul, quick question. We have a 9-week-old cavoodle, Holly. Holly's a pretty cute dog too. There's a photo there. Yeah, like fluffy little dog. I've lost the question. I'm scrolling. We're back. So Sandy has a 9-week-old cavoodle pup called Holly that they're taking through our training, the Paumiko Dog Guide. She's coming along so well. We also have a 14-year-old Jack Russell who is well behaved apart from barking at visitors, and she takes a long time to be quiet. We have tried everything to stop this over the years, except ask you. We are not wanting Holly to pick up her bad habits. Any suggestions? Yeah, so it's a hard one. There's a lot of sort of crossover stuff from the last question, but she could pick it up and more than likely will, and that's quite common too. That pups and other dogs will pick up good stuff from well-trained dogs, and they'll pick up bad stuff from poorly trained dogs too. It's actually really, really good. It's easier once I've done it before. Miko's kind of an example of that with Print. Print was definitely an example of that with Fly, my older dog, where you're bringing up a pup around a really well-trained older dog, and that older dog will sort of keep your pup occupied. You can let your pup play with the really well-trained older dog that has no bad habits, and that older dog will keep it occupied, show it how to be normal without teaching any bad habits. But in this case, you've got this older dog that's pretty good all around except this barking thing. My go-to thought on this, which may be a lot easier said than done, is the best solution to this would be to stop your older dog barking when people come around. Barking at visitors, and she takes a long time to be quiet. Yeah, that would be my ultimate solution to this, would be get on top of that. Which may be easier said than done if your Jack Russell's 14 years old and she's been doing it for some part of that 14 years, potentially most of it, and she takes a long time to be quiet. It could be very, very hard. And again, probably my first go-to tool for fixing that would be a crate and separating the dog from the situation. So if I've got visitors coming around, I'd crate the dog in another room. So first thing is just eliminate it, stop it from continuing to happen over and over. Often in a situation like that, the dog is barking at an event. It's often more the people turning up than the actual people, and once they've been there for a while, the dog will probably calm down. So my first thing to try there, I would want to be able to crate the dog and then someone's coming around, put the dog in a crate in another room, and maybe bring the dog out later once everything had calmed down. It's all the same stuff: pressure and praise, pressure on the dog when it's barking, praise it when it stops, all of that sort of thing. But then depends if that older dog is crate trained or kennel trained or not. Often with fixing stuff, one of the first solutions is at least isolating the incident, stop it happening again. So it's crating and kenneling is the first thing. Again, another reason why crating and kenneling is so important. But yeah, let me know what you think about that, Sandy, and if that might be a solution for you, getting the older dog to stop barking. Next question, Sarah. Hi Paul. Oh yep. Hi Paul. You met our Staffy pup Coda at age 6 months. I remember. She is now 8 months old and bit of a terror. My question is, what is the best way to discipline her, as growling has no effect and she is digging up my lawn, shredding my plants and biting the kids. Growling and a smack on the nose or bum means nothing. Yeah, it probably wouldn't, and I wouldn't recommend smacking dogs at all. Lead, long line, pressure, command disapproval, but not smacking it. It's just not what I do. Means nothing to her, and even chaining her up for a short period of time doesn't seem to bother her at all. Probably doesn't. Probably won't, but locking her up, proper separation, proper crating, proper kenneling for long periods of time will mean something to her. Very, very important. Chaining a dog up for a short period of time doesn't really do much. She goes right back to it. I mean, all of this stuff is, and remember, so I met Coda. Coda was a cute dog, like holy hell, like 6 month old Staffy, so cute. And she would go around to some family members who had 2 other dogs who they had some bad habits too. They were sort of, while I was there, the cows were over the fence and the dogs were barking at the cows. I think Coda might have had a bark at the cows. She was sort of tearing around doing whatever she wanted. Sarah was sort of calling her back. She wasn't listening. I was like, well, like, this is all the stuff you don't do. And I put the long line on Coda and talked about the bad habits with the older dogs and how fixing all of it, and how, like, what's in the Paumiko dog guide. Like, if you look at what we do with Miko, creating from day one, everything's on the long line from day one. I'm never putting her in a situation where she's destroying stuff and chewing stuff up, shredding the lawn and plants and all. She was just never in that situation, you know. And so kenneling and long line and a really good structured training system and actually sticking to it is so freaking important. Because if a pup or a dog is in those situations over and over, you're just training it to do that. And the more that a dog does that, the harder it is to fix it all, and you're just creating habits. So Coda, when I met her at 6 months old, she'd obviously already done a lot of that sort of tearing around and stuff, right? Like, she's already 6 months old. Ideally, she would have been doing all that stuff that's in the Paumiko dog guide from day one. And if you're following something like the Paumiko dog guide, which granted you weren't at that stage, none of that stuff would be happening, you know. But if you are in a situation where you weren't following something like that and you're running into these problems, then you really need to look at the system carefully. And you need to work even harder now and stick to it even harder. If she's shredding up the lawn and the plants and biting the kids, then she needs to be in a kennel when you're not with her one-on-one. Pretty much she needs to be in a kennel or on a long line. That's honestly what it comes down to, particularly once you're in a situation where you are here, where she's just destroying stuff when you're not watching, biting kids, kennel or one-on-one with a long line. So you're there to correct every single last thing that she does. And it's really, at this stage, really, really important for you. Because she's already 8 months old, she's already well down the track. Some of these things, you should be getting out of the neck of the woods at 8 months old, not right in the middle of it, you know. So you're going to have to be super, super diligent and just kennel and long line, and don't let her fail. Don't put her in a situation where she can dig up the lawn or do that wrong stuff, because it's just going to get more and more imprinted and worse, and you may end up with a dog that you can't have out of the kennel or off the long line or lead without destroying everything. So it's really, really important to super, super disciplined. Don't let the dog fail. Create that perfect routine and all those perfect habits and show her how to be normal. And you will get her to the point where Miko's at now, where she's only really locked up when I completely leave the house, leave the section for safety, so she's not running around and that sort of thing. But she can be completely, don't have to watch her all the time. So that's my answer to that. Again, welcome to and thanks to all our new sign-ups on the Paumiko Dog Guide. We're actually, I sort of say this every time, and we've had a little bit of a setback time-wise over the last few weeks. I really wanted to be hooking into some stuff now and pumping out some content with Paumiko Dog Training and Miko, but we've had a bit of a setback time-wise just with some other stuff with the work building and stuff. We're actually moving. It's taking us quite a bit to get ready for that, but there is some more stuff coming up with Miko and that soon. Thanks, guys and girls and dogs. We'll see you later.